What's up, guys? Good today, and I want to talk about how in patch 7.3 the bug fix for Zyra was actually a nerf. And then after I talk about that, we're gonna get into the gameplay and commentary. So, in this patch, Riot put out a bug fix on Zyra, which what it did was it made it so that her plants would, instead of always attacking the nearest enemy champion, would instead attack minions if the champion was not hit with the abilities that were used to summon the plant. Now, this is something that they intended to do, I don't know, like a month and a half ago, I think. And it never happened. And I was just like, they put it in the patch notes, and I played Zyra, and you know, I was like, okay, nothing changed here, so I was just like, whatever. So they actually did it this time. So what this means for Zyra players is that you actually have to hit enemies with your abilities, so you do have to get a bit closer with to them to hit with your abilities. This makes you more fragile and whatnot, and you can't just kind of sit back and just put plants out and pop your Q in the middle of a minion wave and have your plants just damage enemy champions. So this is a nerf, but it's not a big nerf. If you're, you know, a mediocre Zyra player, by the way, I want to that Lee Sin gank. It's hilarious. But if you're a mediocre Zyra player, then what this means is that you're gonna have to start getting actually good at the game, and you're gonna have to actually learn how to play Zyra properly now. If you were a good Zyra player before, this isn't really gonna affect you anymore. And if you weren't already adjusted to it, I'm sure if you're good enough, you're gonna adjust to it fairly easily. Like I said, all it causes you to do now is to be a bit more upfront with your positioning when you want to go for a trade. Makes it a bit more fair for the enemy to deal with you. However, Zyra is still broken. So this game is pretty much a snowball. By the way, done with talking about the bug fix. Wasn't too much to talk about. But this game is going to be a fucking snowball. You already saw Lee Sin came down bot and just pretty much gave my ADC double buffs. So yeah, that's a good start for me. I'm gonna go back, get Sightstone, get a boots, control ward. I'm set for the game now. Garen is gonna lose top pretty badly, and he's gonna complain about being cammed. During the game, I wasn't too sure whether or not he actually was. I didn't really care. Lee Sin came bot and didn't do anything. Oh, by the way, wasn't control ward supposed to make it so that traps and stuff weren't procced? Or vice versa. It used to do that, but wasn't supposed to make it so that they could be procced now. Because I walked over a Jin trap earlier, and it didn't do anything because I had a control ward on it. But I thought they said that they were going to change that. I don't know. I know it's changed for Oracle lens. But yeah, I think that's got fucked up. So, Thresh is coming over here to try and stop Graves. And obviously that's not going to go well. They do kill Graves, however we kill Thresh. And we're going to get Dragon off of this. The Kayle is trying to stay around. She's trying to get something here. But in the end, all that's going to happen is she's going to die because we know she doesn't have ult because she tried to use it to stay Thresh. I use it. Oh, that's GP. GP uses Exhaust to make sure that she doesn't kill anyone. And yeah. Lee Sin walks, Lee Sin goes and tries to kill GP, and I had 3 plants here, so I rooted him up and used my ult and summoned the plants with my Q. And yeah, we killed 4 people in that. Everyone aside from their top laner. So yeah, this is a very good game. The Lee Sin doesn't understand that he's not supposed to go next to my plants. And yeah, their team overall is just pretty shitty. They do have a somewhat good late game though. Lee Sin and Thresh have the ability to make picks. Lee Sin isn't necessarily the best late game champion, but Darius can be really strong late game. Being Darius, Darius can, you know, be doing shit in lane and be strong late game just because. Just comes in and just swings his axe around, and once he gets one person's out, he kills everyone. Kale is just a complete monster late game, and I think she has a pretty good win rate right now, if I'm not mistaken, because of the fact that she's really good late game. And Jhin gets a massive amount of damage. So we don't want that to happen, so we need to make sure that, you know, we win before they hit 40 minutes pretty much, which right now shouldn't be a problem, but being solo queue, you never know what could happen. So the Grace is coming bot, so I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna ult and I just throw out everything and use all my abilities, and we pick up an easy double. I end up taking the kill, and Vayne ends up dying actually, which is not good. But then Kale comes here and she's gonna ult to get herself out of a situation that she put herself in, and then she's forced to flash away from Gravesy. So yeah, their team is a bunch of idiots. So, coming mid now, and I know Kale doesn't have flash and doesn't have ult, and she walks over to try and kill me, and whoop-de-doo, she goes and dies. The importance of positioning. Easton comes in, he's trying to kill GP, and gets nothing for it, and thinks twice about trying to get anything out of it. So far so good. See, I'm 3-0-5. For my build this game, I don't like to go Moby Boots. I know a lot of the pros like to go Moby Boots. I don't like that because I like damage. I also don't like to go a simple AP page with my rune page. I like to go damage. So you'll see me take the full magic pen runes that people were taking back when they first did Zyra. First remade her. Made her broken, pretty much. I like armor. Not armor. I like magic pen better, because what it allows you to do is pretty much have a really nasty early game, and early game is what wins you the game. Pretty much at this point in time. That's why lethality is really strong right now, is because it's all early game stats. Everything that does good early game is typically what wins. Solo queue is a bit different. You don't abide by necessarily the same rules as LCS, but it's similar stuff, similar meta, similar things. And for the most part, people are going to be able to win if they have assassins that make use of lethality. If you have Varus, you have Jhin going in lethality build, which this Jhin isn't, and stuff like that. So, steamrolling over the enemy. They've got nothing on us at this point. They keep on trying to get something. I'm doing a good job of making sure that my plants are blocking them off or denying them anything. And they're dealing a shit ton of damage. I end up dealing the most damage this game. I think I end up dealing like 35,000. And second runner-up is Graves at 22. It was either Graves or Vayne. Don't know which one. We catch out a few more of them and we're gonna get this turret. So at this point, my team's gonna try and get this. The enemy team should be able to get them off of this. However, they're so disorganized and not positioned well that what ends up happening is that they get it anyways. And the Darius is gonna die because he's just not positioned properly. However, Vayne is going to die for it because she decided to dive turret and tank that. I get in here and my ult comes up right now, which is not a good time to be using it. I was using it to get damage done. However, the issue with this is I had no plants down. And because I had no plants, what that meant was my ult was just there for the base damage that it does. I got no extra damage from plants because, you know, when you use your ult, if you have plants down, your plants just go ham and deal a shit ton of damage. However, I had no plants, so that backfired. So obviously not good. And because I used my ult there, what's going to happen is there's going to be another fight soon where I'm going to really wish I had my ultimate. And it's going to, my ultimate's going to come back up right after the fight ends. Oh. So, right here, I'm going sweeping, making sure that we're able to take Baron if we want to. And their Thresh is, you know, making sure that we can't take Baron, he's going and setting down wards. Now, we are down a Garen right now. And that is not good because Garen is going top and he is not saying anything and no one is noticing this. And Graves gets caught out. I forget who it was that was pinging. Yeah, it was Garen that was signaling to be safe, but by the time he was doing it, Graves was already getting caught out. And you can see that everyone goes and dies. And my ult had just came up right after Graves and Bane had died. So now we're losing a tower for this. We lost 3 people, and this is not good. Garen gets pulled in, and Garen is so freaking tanky that it doesn't matter. And I'm like, okay, I see an opportunity to make a turn and try and get some kills here. And get a Darius, I get a Thresh, and Garen ends up dying. But hey, you know, that's a 1 for 2 in that scenario at least. And it stops him from potentially getting that tower. Graves goes in and he 1v3s quite well, gets 2 kills in exchange for his 1 life. And so I am quite happy with that. And yeah, we're doing some things which obviously are good and obviously are giving the enemy the opportunity to potentially make a comeback into this game. You can see that it's pretty close in kills. Pretty close in towers. Well, we have 3 towers on, but it's not like it's a big deal. They still have the inhibs. They still have the inner towers in bot and top, so we do have to be careful. Because if we give them too much, we're gonna lose. However, we do have a 5k gold lead, which is pretty substantial. Most of it from the fact that we have a huge DS lead. I think we got first tower, I know we got first blood, and we have 2 dragons. Now, the enemy would have done something to make a good comeback. What they could have done is they could have had like Leeson, you know, make a pick on me or Vayne or even GP. Kale should really just be ulting herself here and making best use of what she can do. However, we can also see Kale's not going Rage Blade, which is something that she pretty much needs. She also isn't going Rylays. And yeah, Kale's not going the right build, which is something I see quite often actually, people not going the right builds on several champions. If you're gonna play a champion, know how to build the fucking champion, guys. Yeah, Leeson's doing a decent job in my opinion. He's going like a bruiser, building a Titanic. He's going a bit tankier than what you might see. Yeah. The Jhin really should have gone armor pen build this game, as it would have done a shit ton of damage to me. It would have done a lot of damage to Vayne, a lot of damage to GP, and it would have done a lot of damage to the Graves. And what it wouldn't have done damage to is Garen, and that's a Garen, which you guys can kite. You can always kite Garen. Darius was unable to get transition his lead from the laning phase to other lanes and into mid game. Garen and Kale TP in here. I don't know what they were thinking though, because they knew all 4 of us were here. This is definitely a misplay from them. They get 1 of us, but they get 1 of us for 2 of them. It's not worth it. Now we're gonna get another dragon here. And it's not worth it to go for plays like that. No, if they had another teleport somehow, that would have worked just fine, but they don't. They don't have like a Shen support. And I get stupid, and not meaning to walk into the thresh wall, just meaning to stand right on the edge of it, I walk into the thresh wall and kill myself. So we kind of die stupidly. But we get dragon, and Garen's up top getting tower. So yeah, the game's pretty much in the bag at this point. All we really have to do is grab Baron for ourselves. That's pretty much it. If we get Baron, then we can easily push in and get an inhib and get probably another inhib on top of that. Just because the waves are all pushing in. Well, not really bot, but yeah. Thresh gets caught out here in a team fight. And Vayne does a nice job of kiting Garen. She probably could have done a little bit of a better job. But yeah. Kill Thresh, we killed Darius. I said Garen earlier. He was kiting Garen, whatever. He was kiting Darius. And we're gonna pick up this inhibitor, and we're going to just try and push forward here. Or at least that's what we should have done, and whatever. We go for the safe move, and we decide to take Baron instead. Probably better play, honestly. And the enemy team pretty much has to try and stop us here. And if not here, they're gonna have to do their best at holding us out against our push. What ends up happening though is they're down a person. You can see Darius is just now arriving to the fight. They started the fight while they were disadvantaged. After we had taken Baron, after I was allowed to set up plants, after we were allowed to set up barrels, and we just literally just run over all of them and kill them all. And yeah, that's gonna be the game. Vayne and Gray's back at the end. Technically, you shouldn't do that, you know, but it doesn't make sense. So yeah. Talk about a stomp. I ended 7-3-21, which that's more than a 9 KDA. Yeah, Zyra MVP much? So thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed, or like and subscribe if you did. And see y'all in the next one. Thanks.